All right, here we go. Ready or not. Good morning.
Yeah, here we are.
It's going to be another great day here in Central Virginia. It is Wednesday, January the 8th. Folks, we pride ourselves in being the area's only live local talk and entertainment show. It's called Virginia This Morning. That's Amy Lacey.
Hi.
And we're proud to be your host. I'm Bill Benz.
You know what? Ready or not, here we come.
Yep, definitely.
Here we go. We have a special opportunity on this show to interact with all kinds of people, find out about interesting things, and talk about what's trending on the Central Virginia landscape. And we love that you join us each and every day.
So we were having a little discussion before we got started here, and as you know, I'm a summer guy.
Yes, you are. I'm a summer gal, so that's why we get along, Bill.
And I tend to stay outside the house like 20 hours a day in normal, like human being conditions instead of what we're having now. And I'm not real pleased with the way things are going here. We went 3 years without any of the what.
I know. I'm not real pleased with it either. I think the kids are, because they have yet to go back to school since their winter break. But you know what? See, the round of applause. Yeah. But I think that, maybe by tomorrow, maybe. Let's hope.
Well, if we could sleigh ride into work, if we had the corporate sled come by and get us.
That would be really scenic too. That would be really
probably
pretty.
a little cold though.
Let's talk to the folks upstairs about that.
The jury will disregard that remark. All right, we're going to get to it one way or the other, and let's get started. We always start with a preview, so here's a few highlights of what you can expect to see on today's show. Whether you're looking to stay healthy or trying to adopt a dry January, meaning you are taking a break from consuming alcohol this month, drinking vinegar can help with your overall health. Local entrepreneur Meredith Archer is here, and she's going to make her debut on our live show. She's created Mother Shrub Drinking Vinegars. Okay, and she's going to make us a few little sips coming up later on in today's live show. I'm in for it.
I am in for it.
Yeah,
I do the apple cider vinegar thing sometimes. That's a thing.
I was telling her I love pickles and I drink pickle juice from time to time, so
we're going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to give it a try.
One of the fun features we created a few years ago was our Everywhere You Are segment, where we can live vicariously through you. We extend an open invitation to you to send in some fun moments that you're having with your friends and your family. Our Eben Armour had the opportunity to take a peek inside our inbox, and we will see what she found. That is still to come on our live show.
And we have some music for you to enjoy today. The Johnny Lee Long Band has performed on our live show for the past 10 years. Sometimes they take their music on the road. They recently appeared at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts and shared a song with us. We'll enjoy it in its entirety a little bit later, but let's get a preview right now.
Yeah, that's adding some warmth to our
and
day.
And speaking
right
of
there.
fine art.
Yeah.
Do not say whatever you want to say.
That is
That's
you.
you.
Julie Watkins, he doesn't like that S word, but
he never has.
We may be talking about it again coming up.
We're going to have to make him.
Y'all will be talking.
We'll block his ears for this one.
Amy, do you remember he was asking not too long ago for a heat wave?
He was.
To come into our area.
Yeah.
You can listen to this part, Bill. You're good. But you know what I have for you, Bill, is a cold snap. How about that? Just, I forgot to tell you, you moved to the frozen tundra. You're not in Virginia anymore. What are you, 10? Come on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what snow does to you. I understand. And yeah, we are talking about another system that is likely to move in before the weekend is over with. But it is gorgeous out there right now. We're seeing plenty of sunshine. Looks are deceiving, though, because those temperatures are still so very low here at this hour. A lot of us kicked off the day in the teens. We've only warmed up into the mid-20s. And then you factor in that wind, which has actually been picking up some speed over the last couple of hours and is blowing 9 miles an hour. It feels like 14 degrees out there, so dress for that. 15 is the current temperature in Lynchburg, single digit all the way up in Stanton. They've just been continuously falling and haven't rebounded as of yet. So they're at 3 degrees, 19 Charlottesville. A lot of 20s though, so we have come up from the teens for surrounding areas in Ashland, Chester, and on into Petersburg, anywhere from about 20 to 23 degrees, those current temperatures. It feels like temperature. This is really what you have to pay attention to. So it feels like the teens for Ashland, Chester. It feels like about 20 in Petersburg and also in Emporia. So it is cold no matter where you go across the state, and this is going to be our weather here for the duration of the work week and on into the weekend. Temperatures, we're forecasting mid to upper 30s for the high. Still, those northwesterly winds are bringing in that Arctic air mass. So these warmer temperatures are going to be short-lived because we are easily going to slide back down below freezing come 5, 6 o'clock. And then lows tonight plummeting into the teens. It's going to be even colder going into tomorrow morning. We did have some cold advisories earlier this morning. We'll probably see another round of that for tomorrow morning. So just a few clouds, a little bit of moisture out there, but we've got the snow that is staying well to the west of us. Our next system is taking shape, but we have to go all the way on the other side of the country. That area of low pressure will be gaining some momentum here over the next couple of days, even bringing some snow to portions of Texas and Dallas, Arkansas. Probably get walloped with some snow. Snowfall totals are probably going to be more so higher right around the Tennessee Valley. As it gets closer to us, we'll begin to see that snow kind of edging in right around that 7, 8 o'clock hour Friday night, continuing into the overnight hours, but done by 3 o'clock on Saturday before mixing in with a little bit of that wintry stuff. So talking about some sleet, freezing rain, and then changing over to some rain for Saturday. So that will help to limit our snowfall totals. But as of right now, we could see a couple of inches before all is said and done. And then it'll be drier on Sunday. And at least we're pushing back into the 40s for Monday and Tuesday, but just keep in mind that Thursday is probably going to be your coldest day, and then Friday morning, your coldest start, still in the teens. That's Checking Your Forecast. Virginia This Morning starts right after this.
Hello, sunshine. You've been down too long, but I'm telling you, I'm loving so.
Hey everybody, good morning to you. Whether you call it Thursday Eve, midweek, or hump day, it is Wednesday, and we are delighted that you've tuned into the area's premier live local talk and entertainment show, Virginia This Morning. I'm Amy Lacey.
Good morning to Amy, and good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining us again this morning for Central Virginia's only live local talk and entertainment show. We have another informative and fun show for you to enjoy today, so let's get started on the whole thing.
Yeah, let's do our thing.
All right.
For those of you who are just joining us now, we want to say welcome to you. We have a quick recap of some of today's highlights that you can expect on today's show.
We have a special edition of Everywhere You Are today. Our very own Evan Armour had the pleasure of looking in our inbox. She has some great submissions coming up a little bit later on in the show.
And we always love them in the studio. We love videos too. We will enjoy the sounds from the Johnny Lee Long Band from their recent concert at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts.
All right, plus we will make some healthy drinks using vinegar. Now, all of that's coming up. Stay tuned. As you watch our live show, we're going to have some fun. Now, before we go any further, it's time to have some midweek fun.
Oh no.
It's the second Wednesday in 2025. It's the first time
Yep, here we go.
we're doing this year. Amy, get ready for this week's word game. Where'd that come from? Okay, for those of you at home who haven't seen this before, here's how we play the game. I mentioned a word and or a phrase. Over the years, you've probably even used them in conversation. The objective of this is to figure out the origins where that word or phrase comes from. Today's phrase, cut me some slack, Amy.
Oh no, okay.
Cut me some slack.
So I think of those slackliner people, which is a rope. like almost like a tightrope walk or so rope. And I think of, before I lived in Virginia, I was a reporter and news anchor along the coast of North Carolina. Worked with the Coast Guard a lot, worked with fishermen a lot, and they often talked about tying knots and sailing, so I think that's what it is.
Okay. All right.
We'll see. I'm probably wrong.
I'm not going to cut you any slack because
You will never cut me any slack
We'll
when it
find
comes to the
out.
word game.
if she got it right, you'll have to stay tuned to find out.
But before we head to break, we want to share this month's Buddy Check 6 report. CBS 6 anchor Reba Hollingsworth shares the story of a local mother and her cancer journey.
In 2013, Melissa Weaver, a mother of 2 young children, will get a diagnosis that would change her world.
And I remember my first inclination was, I have to live for my children. I have to do whatever it takes. And I think that was my driving force from then on.
Melissa says she was first misdiagnosed, causing a 6-month delay.
Massey saved my life. I was brought in immediately and found out within about a week.
Melissa will undergo a double mastectomy, 16 chemo treatments, and 35 radiation treatments. And it's in those difficult moments, Melissa says, personal growth occurs.
How do I live in the present moment knowing that I don't know how much time? And what do I do with that time, and how does my voice matter? How can I give to others and make a difference? That's where that growth happens.
And she's adding her voice to the many voices at this year's 30th annual Women in Wellness Luncheon.
The 30-year story of women and wellness is shared and told by all of us.
Melissa is chairing the signature event. She says this year it's all about being connected.
Yes, there's so many amazing things happening on the stage, but really the most inspirational pieces are each person in that room. We are all women in wellness.
And another piece Women in Wellness is celebrating, the relationship between the doctor and the patient.
Well, she's like, it might get weird if you keep complimenting him so much.
Melissa says getting radiation was one of the hardest and loneliest parts of her journey, but it was Dr. Todd Adams that made her feel safe and secure.
Doctors don't just save us physically. They have the capacity to save us emotionally and spiritually. And that's what you did.
Dr. Adams has been Melissa's radiation physician for 11 years, during treatment and beyond.
I think our job as physicians is to support patients throughout the course of treatment and when treatment is done. The job's not over just because we finish treatment, because we really want patients to survive and thrive after patient's done, and so we have to be part of that process.
The Women in Wellness Luncheon is Tuesday, February 4th at the Jefferson Hotel. Author and breast cancer survivor Judy Pearson will be the keynote speaker. For more information on the event, go to this story on our website at wtvr.com. For Buddy Check 6, I'm Reba Hollingsworth.
Now everybody loves waffles, but have you heard of chaffles? Chaffles are a delicious and cheesy waffle mixture that's made just with mozzarella cheese, some egg, and a little bit of baking powder. Now from that base, you can turn chaffles into any dreamy mixture that you want, whether it's savory or sweet. And I promise you, you can even put butter and maple syrup on these, and they taste like a real waffle without any of the carbs. These are great if you're on a keto diet and are a low carb diet. And today I'm going to show you how to make a pizza chaffle recipe, which is so delicious, and it's all the pizza flavors without any of the carbs. So let's get started. I've got my waffle maker here that I've gone ahead and preheated. Now you can set it to whatever desired toastness you want. I like mine a little crispier, so I've set it up to number 5 on my iron, and I've gone ahead and sprayed it with a little bit of avocado oil so that our waffle doesn't stick. Now we're gonna start with our egg mixture. I've got 4 eggs here that I'm gonna go ahead and start to whisk, and you really just wanna start to break down the yolk, whisk it together, and we're gonna start to add in our seasoning to our eggs. So I've got a little bit of sea salt, of course. I've got some garlic powder, some onion powder, and I'm using an Italian seasoning. Now this has a variety of different herbs like oregano and other garlicky flavors as well. And then we're gonna add in some Parmesan cheese. Now you can add in more cheese if you want to, but I just do a little bit just to give it a little bit of that Parmesan flavor. And of course our baking powder that's gonna make these a little fluffy. Now this is just our liquid mixture, so let's just go ahead and make sure that's whisked together really well. And now we've got our shredded mozzarella. Now, you want to use a really fine shredded mozzarella, otherwise it can have a hard time melting in there. You can either buy it already shredded or you can shred it yourself in your food processor. Just make sure it's pretty fine. And now we're just gonna add in this egg mixture. You wanna make sure you get everything coated off the sides here because that's all our baking powder. I'm gonna go ahead and use a spatula for this and make sure that gets in our bowl, and that's it. We're gonna go ahead and mix this together, and once our egg mixture is mixed together, we are gonna use our pizza ingredients to add that in. So I like to use a fork for this part just because the egg mixture really makes it through the cheese mixture and you don't have to worry about it not mixing well. And as you can see, it's gonna be pretty cheesy, not too liquidy, which is fine. It's a little different than a traditional waffle mixture. And then we're gonna add in our olives. Now, my favorite pizza toppings are black olives and pepperoni, and that's what I'm putting in this. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my chopped up pepperoni there and my diced olives, and that's it. This is our chaffle mixer. I'm gonna go ahead and get this into our waffle iron cooking, and we're gonna come back and I'm gonna show you the finishing touches on this. And our waffle maker has let me know that it's ready to make our chaffle. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. Don't worry if it's a little smoky, that's just from the oil mixture that we put on there. And we are just gonna start scooping out our waffles and putting it into each of the bays. And that's it. We're just gonna go ahead and fill up our waffle maker and then put the lid down and wait for it to turn these into crispy, golden, delicious pizza chaffles. And our chaffles have cooked in our waffle iron, and now a few tips to getting them out. I like to let them cool in the iron just for a few minutes because since they are made of cheese, they are a little bit more flexible and gooey. I also recommend using waffle tongs to pull them out and pry out the edges and then pull them out in one swoop. So as you can see here, our waffles have completely cooked. Now what I'm gonna do is I've gone ahead and cut them into the 4 individual waffles, and now I'm just gonna go through and I'm gonna let them cut into little slices so that they're gonna be nice and thin, kind of strips that you're gonna be able to eat as a strip. And I've heated up some marinara sauce here. Now my recommendation is dip it in your marinara and enjoy every single bite and enjoy all the waffle flavors and the pizza flavors. And also I like to top it with a little bit of fresh basil as well. So again, these make a perfect easy weeknight dinner, especially if you're on a low carb diet or keto. They also make a terrific appetizer for any of your gatherings, even Super Bowl. It's absolutely delicious, and make them with the marinara sauce and no one is even gonna miss that you didn't order a pizza. So you can get this recipe on my website. It's thetrailtohealth.com. You can find other healthy and delicious recipes in my cookbook, Wandering Palette, which is available on my website and Amazon as well.
This segment is sponsored by Welcome Home Financial Partners.
It's a new year, which means it's time to focus on your road to a successful retirement. So how do you make 2025 your year for planning? Back with us again are Ralph and Tim Short. The father-son duo are part of the team at Welcome Home Financial Partners, a Richmond area firm that focuses on preparing people for a successful retirement. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I have to ask, how can we start the new year on the right track when it comes to our financial planning?
Well, you've got to make sure you've got a plan. There's a lot of folks out there that they kind of rely a little bit too much on what they've done in the past, but when you're getting closer to retirement, in retirement, things are going to look different. You're going to enter a different part of your life. So, you know, while we're working 20, 30, 40 years, we can sock away money, but now we've got to shift our mindset from socking away money to now spending the money, because whether you want to spend it or you don't want to spend it, at some point in time, you're going to have to.
A lot of it is the great unknown. So how do you tackle that today for years and years in the future?
Really, you need some help, because more than likely DYIs, they don't understand all the nuances that you're going to have to go over. I mean, all of a sudden, you might think that you've got a good plan, but what if somebody happens to throw a curveball at you called life, and all of a sudden you got a medical issue that you hadn't planned on? So the biggest thing that people need to understand, they need some help, need to have a fiduciary advisor to help you along the road in order to get you where you want to go, because that's what it's all about. It's not about what you're doing today, it's where you want to be 25, 30 years ago from today.
Yeah, and I think right now, you know, the do-it-yourselfers, all they're focused in on is their investments, right? So they're like, hey, my money's growing, everything's great, I don't have to worry about anything else. Well, that's not true. Like Ralph's saying, you know, if life throws you a curveball, you know, are those investments going to be able to handle that curveball? Because most people, they just focus way too much on the growth aspect and not about the actual retirement plan.
And there's curveballs, and then there are wants, desires as you age. There may be a big trip that you have that you would love to go to maybe see a family member, go to a wedding, or, you know, there's even taxes that you have to pay down the road, and a lot of people don't consider that.
Well, even whatever you want to do, it's going to cost you money,
Yeah.
unless you've got somebody that's going to, you know, finance everything that you want to do. But it's really left up to you at this point in time in your life. So if you do want to take those big trips to Greece or to Switzerland, or if you just want to see your family that's across the country, you know, it's going to take you money. It's also going to cost you money to do certain things that you want to do. And what happens if something happens to your home? Medically or whatever, you have to make some changes in your home. You're going to have the money to do that. So that's why it's important for you to understand all the nuances of retirement planning.
Yeah, and when it comes to taxes, you know, there's a lot of folks, as they're accumulating, as they're saving this money, it's all pre-tax, right? So you'll have a tax break currently, but you won't have the tax break down the line. So do you think tax rates are going to go up or go down? We don't know, but at the end of the day, let's say you've done well and you saved over $1 million in your 401k or your retirement plan. If it's all pre-tax money, that's not all your money, right? So if tax rates do increase, or they start taxing unrealized gains, which has been thrown out there before, you know, what's that going to look like? Are you still going to be able to do those trips? Are you still going to be able to live your lifestyle?
So if someone comes to you today and they want to get started, talk to us about what you do. How do you tackle their situation?
Basically what we do is we ask them to come into the office, and we'll give them a worksheet that we'll send out to them, and they'll have to list out their expenses, their incomes, what they want to do, their dream trips, things like that. And then we'll go through that process, understanding what they want to do. We get back to our software programs, produce a roadmap for them that will show them over a 20-year period what it's going to look like. It helps you visualize what your retirement is going to look like. Do you have enough money coming in to do the things that you want to do?
And the process kind of incorporates everything that they haven't thought of, right? So Social Security estimates, pension estimates, all of these things, because some folks still have pensions and they got different options. And if you choose the wrong option, you might not be affected as much, but maybe your spouse could be affected. So those things to take into consideration.
You have an offer for our viewers today, just in case they want to get started.
Yeah, we do, Amy. So the first 5 callers from today's program, if they've saved $250,000 or more for retirement, we'd like to personally invite them into the office where we'll create their very own retirement roadmap. And the best part is we do it on a complimentary basis.
Ralph, Tim, happy 2025 to you. Thank you for coming in today with this information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have this information for you on the screen too, for you at home if you want to learn more about making 2025 your year for retirement. Welcome Home Financial Partners has a great offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, they are offering a complimentary retirement plan just for you. This will allow Ralph and Tim to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now. You can also discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. Call the number now, 804-729-0112, 804-729-0112. Virginia This Morning. We'll be back after this.
back to our live show here, and that tune means it's another chance for us to take a peek at some of your adventures.
Right now, our Evan Armour shares a few highlights for this special Everywhere You Are feature.
We love seeing those photos and videos that you send our way. I have been digging through our inbox, taking a look at some of the latest submissions, and I have a few of them that I want to feature for you today. So let's go ahead and get started. Up first, the Wildlife Center of Virginia posted this fantastic photo on our Facebook page. They say they got plenty of snow in Waynesboro, and this screech owl Ozzy is enjoying a snow day. What a great shot this is. We hope Ozzy has just been living it up in the snow. Well, from the snow to the beach, this photo is from Virginia This Morning viewer Cheryl. She says they moved to the Outer Banks about a year ago thinking they'd be able to stay there for good, but they're having to move back to the Richmond area for now. Cheryl took this photo of the sunrise on her last day living in what she called paradise. She says maybe they'll try again one day to move back to the beach. Such a beautiful shot. I can see why you love it there so much, Cheryl. But in the meantime, we want to say welcome back to RVA. We'll check out these photos from Virginia This Morning viewer Eric. He snapped these pictures on New Year's Eve. While approaching Zion's Crossroad, he went through a hailstorm. But when he arrived in Gordonsville, it had passed, and the bright sunshine produced this brilliant double rainbow over Well-Hung Vineyard. Wow, would you look at that? That is amazing to see. It's also amazing to capture on camera. Thank you so much for taking these pictures, Eric, and for sharing them on our Facebook page. Well, speaking of New Year's Eve, Virginia This Morning viewer Cheryl served up quite the meal. She made prime rib with a side of red skin mashed potatoes with garlic butter and parsley, beef au jus, a side of horseradish, and asparagus with hollandaise sauce. To top it all off, as if that wasn't good enough, she made her mom's recipe for Macintosh apple pie. Wow, what a menu there, and a deliciously perfect way to end the year. Well, here's a photo from great friend of the show, Scott Tucker. He's been working on this truck to help out a hardworking father of 5. The truck has been off the road since May, and Scott's working through the mechanical issues and cleaning it up a bit for him. That is so awesome of you, Scott, to lend a hand like that to someone who could use it. And we hope it's back on the road soon and just a big help to that family. Well, Virginia This Morning viewer Dwayne has been enjoying some family time. He shared this photo on our Facebook page. He says they all got together to celebrate his mom. 3 children, 5 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. Dwayne says his mom had a brain aneurysm that almost took her life in 2022, but she is loving every minute of having her children by her side. Dwayne says she continues to amaze not just her doctors, but her family and loved ones as well. He says she's just been a rock for the family and continues to show her passion, love, and her will for life. What a lovely tribute, Dwayne. So happy that you all got to be together and enjoy some time as a family. And that is a peek inside our inbox for Everywhere You Are. And now I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Much fun today. I love
nice.
looking to see where everybody
nice.
has been and what they've been doing. Are you having fun with your family, friends, and pets? We like to share in the adventure while staying connected to you.
Please send us a video, picture, or comment to our Virginia This Morning Facebook or Instagram page, or you can email us at virginiathismorning@wtvr.com.
This segment is sponsored by Bryant and Stratton College.
2025 is finally upon us. It's a new year to find a new you. If you're thinking about going back to college, grab a pen and paper. Rapid registration days are going on at Bryant and Stratton College for its winter semester. With me today to talk about its program offerings and top-notch career training is the college's market director, Beth Murphy. Thank you for coming back to Virginia this morning.
Thanks for having me, Amy.
Again, new year, new you. What is rapid registration? How can folks get enrolled?
Well, it is enrolling rapidly. So you're going through the same process. You're going to talk to an admissions advisor. You're going to talk to a financial aid advisor. You're going to tour. But we're just going to do it a little bit faster.
And is it too late for prospective students to still get started within days?
It is not too late, but I'm begging you, if you've been thinking about starting for January, which is a great time to start, now is the time. Pick up the phone and call us or swing by the campus, but let's get that process started. We want to make sure that we have those conversations so that you fully understand the program and the finances behind it.
And financial aid, if some folks need some help making this dream come true and they need the money to do that, what do they need to have in their toolbox to make that process a little bit easier?
Certainly. I mean, the financial aid process can be a little overwhelming. The good news is it's not too late to receive funding for the January semester. But I suggest when you come in, have a copy of last year's tax returns or your W-2s, have your ID. And we will work with you then to pull together the information and talk through your options, because college can be much more affordable than people often think it is.
When you become a Bryant and Stratton student, what kind of support training do you get along with the classwork?
You know, we say we're built different for you, and that's not just a thing that we say lightly. You'll see it right away when you tour our building. The classrooms are smaller. You know, these aren't huge auditorium classes. You'll see that the programs that we offer, very focused. You'll see that when we offer classes and how we offer them. You know, we've got in person, we have remote, we have blended, we have strictly online. You just begin to see, wow, these people get that I am a student and I want to move my career forward, but I'm also a parent or I'm working, and we get that. And I hope that people really, really feel that the minute they walk in our doors.
It really is about finding that balance and making it happen for each and every person individually. There's not a one size fits all. So what would you tell to someone who maybe says, I want to start this year on the path to a new career, but maybe I can't afford it, or now isn't the time? How would you encourage them to take that first step?
You know, I've been there. I was an adult. When I earned my master's, I had just had my son, and I was working a full-time job. And the most difficult part was making that first phone call. And once I made that call, you begin to realize you're not alone and that there are things in place that can help you. And so my encouragement is reach out. You know, don't kill a dream without all the information that you can get, okay?
What a great way that we can start the year with such a great message and just that encouragement that this can be the best year yet.
Amen to that.
All right. Thank you, Beth, for coming on in today. Winter 2025 classes at Bryant and Stratton College start next Wednesday, January 15th. It's located at 8141 Hull Street Road in North Chesterfield. For more information, give them a call at 888-839-1718 or visit the website bryantstratton.edu. Connect on social media as well. And stay with us. Virginia This Morning returns after the break.
Welcome back to Virginia This Morning. We always enjoy live music in our studio, and we appreciate all of our musical guests that actually come in here to see us from time to time.
This next guest recently performed at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, and we wanted to share this selection with you. Here's the Johnny Lee Long Band.
Thanks for spending part of your morning here with us.
Our next guest is an award-winning non-alcoholic shrub producer who specializes in drinking vinegars. She's here to make a few of her signature creations. We welcome Meredith Archer to our live show. Thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Everything looks beautiful.
It's going to taste great, too.
Shrub producer. I have some shrubs. That's different, isn't it? Tell us
Little different.
what shrub producer means.
So the word shrub is from the Arabic sharab, and it became shrub as it came to this country with colonists. So it's been around for a few centuries.
Yep.
And based on a recipe for fruit preservation. So you'd use vinegar to preserve the fruit, pickles, like you said that you loved, and then add a little sugar and
Away we
use
go.
it as a mixer. Yeah.
And so it's advanced all these different flavors now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a few flavors.
I
yeah.
understand that this is something from your roots in West Virginia that you have now built upon to have this company.
Yes. So my grandmother, I grew up in Charleston, West Virginia, and my grandmother was big into folk medicine. And
Okay.
when we weren't feeling well, she would encourage us to drink vinegar.
Okay. Any kind of
And,
tonic, right?
Yeah. So a little honey, a little vinegar, sometimes a little garlic. And, you know, we always thought it was because we wanted to see if she really thought we were sick.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, no. But,
No, I'm not drinking that. I'm not that
no,
sick.
One thing led to another, and when I started making these, I was like, oh yeah, I remember drinking the vinegars with my grandmother as a kid.
So what are you going to make for us today? Because a lot of folks are going into dry January. They are not drinking alcohol this month, but they can still have a cocktail, so to speak.
Right. So the first thing, as far as making the your dry January cocktails, or any cocktails for that matter, is use a fun glass. So I brought a few glasses here that are just, you know, other than your basic water glass. And we're going to start with a blood orange hot honey mule.
Before we go any further, we are hearing that we are following some breaking news. Our news department is.
Okay.
So we may have to step away for a
Sure.
few moments, but for our friends who are at home watching Virginia this morning, we'll make sure that we record everything and talk a little bit about you know, what you're doing, and then we will air it at another time on our show.
Okay. So now we're getting
Now we're
a
being
word
told that we can continue, so we are going to
So,
continue.
We're waiting on City Hall, that is what we're hearing. So let's go ahead and get started on the very first thing.
Yeah, okay, let's start with the blood orange mule. So I'm gonna add, have a glass of ice here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and add an ounce of the blood orange hot honey shrub.
Okay.
And I can give you a taste of these straight if you'd like to try.
I
The
would.
vinegar gives it a little kick. Would you like to try that?
Yeah.
I would like to try as well.
Sure.
I was-
So very concentrated. I'm just giving you a little sip.
We are going to take a sip, but now we want to send it over to our news desk now because they are monitoring that situation. We'll be right back.